Well, that was a hell of a question.
Right, the first one, strengths and weaknesses of yourself.
My strength, I like to work out, as you can see. And my weakness, I like to think I don't have any. That's going to be the best answer I can give on that. And as far as where the UFC is going, that's a complicated question. But I like what they're doing. I like that we're expanding in all the countries, and it's pretty cool to see how big it's getting. And as far as it going into the Olympics, I don't really see how that's going to work yet, because it obviously is going to have to be amateur. So I'd like to see.
Do you want it to be like a carnival, like WWF in the US, or do you want to have it like a sport?
Well, people seem to like, you know, all the hoopla, you know, and I just like the fighting. But you know, the fans, whatever the fans want, that's what's going to happen, I believe.
Okay, strengths. I think mentally, I'm the strongest guy, not only in my division but in the UFC. You know, I never doubt myself. I find even backstage, you know, I'm a pretty composed guy. Weaknesses, I just think that I'm not really interested in game plans. I hear this a lot, and I don't know how many of you saw my last fight or most of my fights, but I just fight for the fans, you know, and really, you know, it's not like to suck up to the fans, like, yeah, I love you guys, but you see me fighting, that's what I do. And if I'm in a boring fight but I win, I'd sooner be in an exciting fight and lose. So with that answer to lead into what you said about the guys being cut, I mean, the thing with that is, yeah, Fitch has won a lot of UFC fights, but recently I think he's lost a couple. And look, we're at the top of the sport. This is, you know, the very pinnacle of the sport we do. So if you win the fights, okay, but if you lose a couple, that's the risk we're in. You know, that's I don't just think it's UFC and MMA. I think it's, you know, any sport at that level. So.
Okay, I can hear you're very cautious, but I understand you.
Okay. We'll go over to the other side, over this side.
Hi guys. Is this on? Hello guys. Yes. My question was for Cub. Cub, I know you transitioned from football, or soccer as you call it, into MMA, so the kicking is quite different. What did you do to transition, and what did you have to think about when you were designing your technique?
Well, my kicks changed a lot over the years, and I think the biggest part was just being open-minded, keep trying different styles of kicks, and it's all going to play out. Just the fundamentals are there, playing soccer or football growing up, and I think that's a huge advantage. Tom played growing up. So many fighters grew up playing, so you can tell that we all have good kicks, and I think it's an advantage for us.
Cool. Could you guys sign my t-shirt?
Sure.
Yes. So we'll go back over here, I guess.
Hello, and on behalf of everybody in here, I'd like to thank you guys for coming here, meeting the fans, and during this Q&A. It means a lot to us. And my question is, both of you, if you had the chance to fight any fighter, and I mean, if we had a time machine and we could go back to any time and meet them at their prime, like Sakuraba or John Jones, who would it be? I mean, any division, any fighter. Do you have like a dream matchup?
This is an easy one for me. I'd like to fight Travis Brown. He's a big goofy dude, and we got beef, and I want to fight him.
Thank you.
All right, well, there's my answer gone, but I'll keep it present. I mean, recently I called out Vanderlei Silva after he beat Brian Stan. Everybody got carried away with all Vanderlei's fans, but you know, I spoke with the UFC and the top guys and said, look, you know, I want give me some of the worst guys in the division. I'm not near the top 10, so Vitor already has a fight. Bisping already had a fight, so if they're not going to give me these low guys, then give me guys further up. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got to make the long walk. Sorry.
Hi. Since both of you train with Greg Jackson, how do you feel about all the criticism Greg Jackson gets? Like, people say that Greg Jackson fighters don't finish fights, and what do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I think it's undeserved. You know, Greg came out a while ago now, when it first started coming out, and said, you know, okay, people are criticising me, but look at my fighters. They've won the most bonuses. Obviously, the last card me and Cub both fought on, I think our fights were the two best fights of the night. So I don't agree with it, but you know, people are entitled to say what they want. So.
Yeah, it sucks, you know, because Greg's such a good dude, and you know, it's on each fighter the way they fight at the end of the day, and I don't feel he deserves that, and nobody talks about all the great performances. People just want to talk about any performance that they don't like. Oh, it's Greg Jackson's fault, and I always think about like how awesome it is of a coach to go ahead and take that blame and not be on the internet going, don't talk about me like that or anything. Like, he's just taking it so that we don't have to take heat sometimes. Like, to me, that's a hell of a coach.
And one more for you, Cub. Since you're part Swedish, do you know any Swedish words or something?
Everyone's been trying to teach me. He's even, but I don't trust him. I think he's teaching me bad stuff. So,
okay, I'm not sure if this is right, but I'm going to go ahead. This is what I got taught. Okay, der vacca. Does that sound kind of Swedish?
Yeah.
See, he wouldn't say it. I don't know why. I told him to say it to this guy at the bar, but he wouldn't say it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play dumb fighter on that one. I get punched a lot, so I'm not up for learning new language. I'd love to, but it's very difficult.
Okay, thank you guys.
Huge fan. If you can make any change to the rules at all, what would that be?
You want me to go first? What do you think? All right. You know, it's a difficult one because they do. I know a lot of people talk about the pride rules and the knees to the head and the kicks, but I'm not really a fan of those rules. For me, it's just I don't really like the time limit. So sooner it was just you start the fight and you go till you finish. But I understand for obviously fans and TV and everything, that's not a very good idea because I mean. You could be there for 2 hours on the first fight, so no, there's nothing I can really think of that I would change.
I would say foot stomps. It always seemed like really rude to me. Like, why would you like step on my toe? You know, that's just mean. You might break it, and that's not going to end the fight. I don't see why that's allowed. Because you're not allowed to bend fingers, you know. But you can stomp on someone's toe and break it, and it's not going to stop me from fighting. But it's just I'm gonna be pissed for months. Like, this dude stomped on my foot. So I got a problem with that. But other than that, I think I'd like to see some evolution of the gloves. I feel like that's the way the gloves are made is the reason people get poked in the eyes. So I'd like to see more of a curved glove, so that way your hand sits at a medium instead of open. Because when we're resting, our hands are wide open, and that's why people are getting poked.
Okay. Any change into the judging criteria that you like to see? Something that is that the judge is giving points for today that you don't want to, or other way around?
Well, with the judging, the only other thing I personally think on that is I'd like to see the judging from outside the arena. You know, maybe they're in a TV room, 3 different judges in different areas, and then you combine that with the arena, because I think the arena can influence decisions a lot with hometown favourites, and the crowd make a lot of noise, and it can seem that more punches and more things are actually doing more damage than they actually are.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'd like to see more consistency you know, I've been around for a long time, and like for a long time, wrestlers just taking a guy down. That was like, that was it. You won the round. It's not so much anymore, but it just seems like it's always changing. I just like to see more consistency. That way, us as fighters know, you know, what we're supposed to do to win the fight. You know, if you can't put the guy away, because you know a lot of these guys are tough, so you can't always put the guy away. But what do I need to do to show the judges that I'm the dominant fighter? I think it needs to be a little bit more clear sometimes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
My question is first for Mr. Kong. I saw your last fight and instantly became a huge fan. But then I read your untasteful insult of my hero, Wanderlei Silva. So I was wondering if there was any bad blood, or if you just wanted to fight him really bad, or any specific reason.
Well, look, you know, I had nothing against Wanderlei. You know, obviously Wanderlei, as many other fans of his have told me online, that you know, it's disgraceful. I called out a legend of the sport. But you know, here's what it is. Wanderlei Silva's last fight for Brian Stan. I'm very good friends with Brian Stan. I've lived in his house. I know his family very well, and I watch a fight and see my friend get knocked out. So my reaction is, you know, I want to get this guy myself. So from my point of view, I go online and I say, okay, Wanderlei, you're a legend. Please, can I fight you? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. If I go on there and say, Wanderlei, listen, you know, come to fight and I'll knock you out, which I will do. You know that. Then maybe we'll fight. But listen, I don't see it happening. You know, look, Wanderlei's at 205. He's got bigger names, but I just think for the fans that would be a great fight. You know, I want someone that's going to stand up and throw down, and who does that more than Wanderlei? Not many guys.
Thank you. And also one for Cobb. You fought in a hexagon in WEC, and now it's obviously an octagon in the UFC. Is there any difference in how you, I don't know?
I didn't even know that. Is that a fact?
I didn't know that either. That's a good question.
Yeah. I know that the cage is smaller, and that's a little bit of a factor. That's the only difference, but the way it was shaped, I didn't notice the difference.
So nothing noticeable?
No.
And also, because of your Swedish descent, is there any chance you'll be fighting here anytime if the UFC returns?
I would love to. The first time they came, I asked Sean Shelby if I could fight on the card, and he laughed at me. You know, not a lot of people think I look Swedish. So now they're kind of growing up to the idea, so I would love to if it's possible. I'd like to.
So you're part Mexican, right?
Yeah, I'm half and half.
Thank you.
Is anyone going to make a quick run to either microphone? Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if not, we had a whole dance routine, so.
I was actually going to sing, but Cub was going to be the dancing stuff.
Hello again. I don't have any fake mustaches, so I can't pretend to be anybody else. But I'd like to know what inspired you to be a fighter. Was there a particular fighter who did so, or is it just the way you are, the warrior spirit, and you saw this as an opportunity to be a great warrior, so to say?
Well, I think all of us grew up watching movies like Bloodsport and all the kickboxer, and kind of thought that was like the coolest thing ever. But for me, it was just, I'm a very competitive person, and fighting just seemed to be the ultimate sport. No team, one-on-one, no ball, you know, it's just one-on-one. My body's my tool, and see who's better. And it scared the crap out of me, even thinking about it, but here I am.
Thank you, sir.
Similar kind of thing, but you know, I grew up, you know, playing football and didn't ever think I would fight. You know, never was really into fights, and then that didn't really work out for me at sort of 16, 17, and and I got into boxing, and at the time I'd remembered as a kid, you know, I was always in England, boxing was always on TV, you could watch it, they had all these characters, so then when I started I thought, you know what, I'd like to give this a go and just see, and the same thing Cub said, like, you know, and then you stood here later, you know, almost at 100 fights, like, what happened there? So it's pretty funny when I think about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
How are you? Just wondering, is this your first time in Sweden? Both
Questions for me?
Yeah, both of you.
Yeah, my very first time, and I'm loving it.
Have you got to see much of the sights yet? Or
No,
are you too busy autographs and stuff?
Yeah, we've been busy during the day, and I've been waking up late, so I'm hoping tomorrow I'm gonna get to go around before the fights and get to see some cool stuff.
That's good. What about you, Tom? Is this your first time in Sweden?
Yeah, first time in Sweden. Yeah, I've been to a lot of Europe, but I've never managed to get to Sweden, so I was pretty excited to come to Stockholm, the capital, and you know, I enjoy it.